It's happening. I'm doing it. YouTube videos, bro. Mic, camera, got everything all pulled up here, bro. I'm geeking out. But I gotta lock in, because this is serious. This Saturday, UFC 326, Holloway Oliveira 2 BMF title on the line. That's big stuff. I'm gonna talk about the main card today. Like I said, I'm still testing the waters. You know, if I do like an hour video talking about the whole card, and it comes out looking like dog, well, that's a waste of an hour. So we're just gonna do the main card, just the main card, test the waters, see how it goes, and then go from there. That being said, first main card fight, middleweights, Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez, Bruno Ferreira. Now, if you know ball, you know this fight has happened once before already, which ended with Bruno Ferreira getting a first round TKO finish over RoboCop. Since then, Ferreira, he's coming off the win over Martin Vettori. He had a win over Jackson McVeigh. Rodriguez, he had the TKO loss or the knockout loss to Jared Cannonier, but he also ended up knocking out Jack Hermanson, and he's coming off the win over Roman Kopylov. I don't think history repeats itself here. I think RoboCop gets it done this time. He has shown that he can be a little bit chinny from time to time, but I think he's a lot more well-rounded and has evolved a lot since the first fight with Bruno. So I think he's going to get it done. I could see like a late round TKO, ground and pound type of thing, or just a decision. I think I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to lock in decision. I'm going to say RoboCop decision over Bruno Ferreira. I believe he's got more outlets to victory than Ferreira does. Ferreira, too, with his fight with Vettori, his gas tank I felt he was getting a little bit tired in that fight. And he gets hit a lot more than I would like him to, especially with a guy like RoboCop, like Rodriguez. I feel like that's not a guy you want to get tagged a lot by. So I think RoboCop will get this fight done. Like I said, either a late round TKO or a decision. If I got to lock in one, I'm going to go decision for RoboCop to get his get back on Bruno Ferreira. But after that, lightweights. Now this one here. Drew Dober, Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson is coming off of beating Daniel Zellhuber, who we just watched Daniel Zellhuber also lose to Bobby Green a couple days ago. That doesn't sit right with me. Let me tell you why. There's a lot of things I do for fun in life, a lot of pastimes. I like listening to music, playing video games, hanging out with my friends. But above all else, I like making fun of Bobby Green for losing all the time. It just brings me a different level of joy that some other things just can't quite fulfill me with. So to see Bobby Green go out there and look good against Daniel Zellhuber, it's officially put Daniel Zellhuber on my hate list. I will no longer be a fan, root for, and I will now despise and root against Daniel Zellhuber for losing to Bobby Green. That being said, Michael Johnson also beat Daniel Zellhuber in a fight that I actually had real money on the line, bet on Daniel Zellhuber. So first he lost me the money, and then he got knocked out by Bobby Green. Dude's just speed running to being my most hated fighter of all time. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Drew Dober, Michael Johnson. Do I play into the meme? I mean, if you know, you know. There's how do I word this here? Certain fighters that Drew Dober doesn't lose to. If you're catching my drift. Certain guys that he will not lose to. And I think the meme stays alive this Saturday. Drew Dober, TKO or knockout over Michael Johnson, first or second round. That's my prediction. I'm calling it now. Michael Johnson, he's been around forever. He's tough. He's good. I'm a Michael Johnson fan. I won't lie. You know, he's had some great fights. Talk about the fights with Gaethje and stuff back in the day. Obviously, he's coming off, like I said, beating Daniel Zellhuber. But now, he's got to go against Drew Dober. And not only does Drew Dober have the face of a model, he's got the whole internet backing him to keep the meme alive. Drew Dober only loses to white males. That's it. Probably only straight white males, if I had to guess, too. So, he's going to keep the meme alive, and he's going to finish Michael Johnson this Saturday. Hey, I don't say I agree with it. I don't make the rules. I just say what I see. And I see the meme living on. Next fight. We go to the bantamweights. Now this one here. Oh, where we go? Here we are. Rob Font. Raul Rosas Jr. Chihuihuis himself, the ugliest man to walk this planet, Raul Rosas Jr. If he wouldn't have been fighting on this card, he probably would have been fighting last Saturday on that Mexico card for sure. But this fight's finally happening. I feel like it's been booked 6 or 7 times, give or take. So this fight's interesting to me because I feel a lot of people are going to pick Raul Rosas Jr. just off the name value and the hype. That being said, I think this is a huge jump for him to go to straight to Rob Font now. I don't know if I agree with that, him going to Rob Font. I think Rosas is, when it comes to striking, is lacking in the striking department compared to Rob Font. And I'm not saying Rob Font's some crazy knockout artist or nothing, but I just feel this is a big jump for Rosas to go straight to Rob Font. And he's obviously going to try to have to get this to the ground, look to grapple, look to submit Rob Font. I just don't think he can do that. I think Rob Font is going to stuff a lot of his shots. He's going to negate a lot of takedowns and just start putting paws on Raul Rosas Jr. So I could see a Rob Font TKO win over Raul Rosas Jr. or a decision win. If I'm going to pick one, let's have a little fun. Let's be a little crazy. Let's go Rob Font. TKO finish over Raul Rosas Jr. Mid to late second round, maybe even early third. But that's what I'm going to go with. Rosas is going to be trying to look for his takedowns a lot because he's not going to have success on the feet against Rob Font. But Font's really going to do good at negating them shots, defending those shots pretty well, and then landing his strikes off the break. So I feel that's going to be his route to victory here, and that's going to get Rob Font a win over Chihuihuis himself, Raul Rosas Jr. Now, this fight. I'm actually excited to talk about this one here. Co-main event, middleweight fight, Kyle Barajo versus Rainer de Ritter. This one's interesting. Both guys coming off a loss. Barajo lost to Nazir Nurmagomedov in what was pretty much should have been a number 1 contenders fight for the title. He's coming off that loss. De Ritter coming off that loss to Brendan Allen. Well, not only did he lose, but he quit. He gave up in that fight, which he's been known to do before in other promotions, giving up on the stool. He was looking good once he got to UFC. I remember watching his fight with Gerald Meerschaert, and I was like, wow, what the hell was that? But since then, he started winning and doing well. The wins over Bo Nickel. Dude, the Bo Nickel win. RDR was my savior for like a whole week after that. To beat Bo Nickel, I was like, you were the man. De Ritter, all day long, was my guy. The Whittaker fight, that one hurt because I love Robert Whittaker, but besides the point. He was winning. He's been winning, and he's been looking good, and then he hit that wall, that Brendan Allen wall. Notable wall, Brendan Allen. And it's a cardio issue again. This fight is interesting because there's a lot of title implications on the line with this. The striking department, I believe I'm going to lead more towards Barajo, and then the grappling, obviously, I'm going to lean towards RDR. Now, how does this fight go? I believe this is 3 rounds. Is there any way I can check that? Because I do believe this is a 3-rounder. I don't know. Quote me on that. But I believe it's a 3-rounder. Saying it is a 3-rounder, that favors RDR because he doesn't have as long to gas out. So, I do believe RDR is going to win this fight, and I believe he's going to do it with his grappling. A lot of putting Barajo up against the cage, pushing him against the cage, handing them his little shots there, knees to the body, knees to the thigh, just wearing him down up against the cage, and I believe that'll get RDR out of here with a unanimous decision win of a Kyle Barajo. I could see Barajo maybe like getting the first round, coming out hot, doing his thing, and then RDR is like starts realizing what he needs to do. He needs to start grappling, start putting Barajo up against the cage, and wearing him down. And I think that's what he's going to do, and I believe that will get him the victory this Saturday. RDR, unanimous decision, via lots of grappling over Kyle Barajo, is my pick for the co-main event for UFC 326. But now, lock in, boys. The reason we are all here. UFC 326 main event, BMF title on the line. Champion Max Holloway defending against Charles do Bronx Oliveira. 2. The rematch you guys fought obviously a long time ago. A lot of us know. Max Holloway won first round, like TKO doctor stoppage. Oliveira had a weird neck injury, like throat injury. I believe it was his esophagus. Pretty bizarre. But so much has happened. These two have become superstars since that fight. Both guys coming off a win now. Holloway coming off the retirement fight against Dustin Poirier to retain his BMF title. Obviously has the knockout win over Justin Gaethje from UFC 300, but he also got knocked out by Ilia Topuria. On the other side, Oliveira coming off that win over Mateus Gamrot, also got knocked out by Ilia Topuria and lost a decision to Arman Tsarukyan. This fight is very interesting because I believe Charles has more ways to victory than Max. I'm a fan of both these guys, but I'm a big Charles fan. I got his t-shirt, just wore it the other day, just to let him know. I'm still rocking with DuBronx. He's still my guy, even though I'm about to say what I'm about to say. I think Charles has more outlets to victory to win this fight and become the BMF champion. It's just a matter of will he do them, because I believe those avenues to take to be champion, it's a lot of grappling. It's a lot of wrestling. And that's kind of not the vibe that's around the BMF title. Everybody wants to see these guys going out there swinging, trying to kill each other, knock each other out. Hence the Dustin Poirier fight, the Justin Gaethje fight, And I think Charles, I've been seeing the training videos. He's been talking about a lot about, Max does the point down, man. Like, that's it. That's, we're going to find out who the BMF is. You don't want to do that, Charles. Don't do that, please. If Charles wants to win this fight, I believe he needs to grapple. Charles has shown that he is a good striker, but it's Max Holloway, bro. You're not a better striker than Max Holloway. Charles, like I said, if he wants to win, he needs to grapple. He needs to look to get a submission, lots of control over Max Holloway. Max Holloway has shown that he is a good defensive wrestler. Like, he's good at defending takedowns a lot, but against a guy like Charles Oliveira, who's like the elite level best of the best grappler, it's like, that are really tested, but it's all a matter of Charles wants to do it. I feel like Charles might get caught up in this stigma, this vibe, and this aura of the BMF title being two guys going out there trying to take each other's heads off. And if he gets stuck in that, I believe it's going to be a long night, but it could be a short night as well, if you know what I mean, for Charles Oliveira. I believe he needs to stick to what he's good at, stick to what he's known for, and stick to what's gotten him to the top to win this fight. But I don't think he's going to. I believe he's going to get pulled into the idea of the BMF title being a scrap, being a war, being this back and forth, just dudes punching each other's faces in. And I believe that's what he's going to do, and I believe it's going to cost him the fight. And I believe Max Holloway will get out of here with a win and retaining his title. I don't think... no, it's 5 rounds, though. I could see a TKO finish for Max Holloway, but I'm going to play it safe and say a decision win for Max Holloway and just say 5-round absolute, just slugfest, banger fight. I think it's going to be fun. I believe Charles will have good moments. I'm not saying, like, if he stays on the feet the whole time, he's just not a chance to win. Like, I'm not saying that. But I just don't think that's the route to take if he wants to win this title. And although I believe it's going to be a great fight, back and forth, lots of striking. Like I said, I believe Charles is going to try to stick to the striking and really go for that BMF moniker that he wants. But ain't nobody more BMF than Max Holloway. So I believe Max Holloway will take advantage of that on the feet, landing what he needs to land, doing the good at defending and negating the grappling the best he can when it comes. And he's going to get out of here with a unanimous decision win over Charles Oliveira to retain the BMF title and go on to whatever's next for Max, whoever else they want to throw in there and give a shot to for the BMF title. Because I don't know if the UFC gold is ever going to be a thing for Max Holloway anymore just because of the predicament he's in at lightweight and the champion being Ilia, So He's going to have a lot of fun fights with the BMF title after this. There's a lot of fun guys like BSD. Would be a fun fight to watch him do, especially for the BMF belt. I believe that's a perfect fit. I could see that being next. I would love that. So there's a lot of fun things built for Max Holloway after this. And then Charles, continue being Charles, man, being the gatekeeper almost at this point. The gatekeeper of the title, Guys that beat Charles are like, all right, I want my title shot. Arman Sarukian, for example, beat Charles. Like, all right, title shot time. I beat Charles Oliveira, former champ. So I believe Charles will go back to being Charles, fighting a lot of the guys that are on the rise, these guys that have broken into the top 15, into the top 10. Like, all right, they need one final test to see if they're legit. Give them Charles Oliveira. That's what I think is next for him. That's what I think is next for Max. But in all, Max Holloway, I believe we'll get it done. I would like to obviously recap this, see how I did. Because like I said, main card, we got Rodriguez, we got Dober, we got Font, we got Ritter, and we got Holloway. Let's see if I can go 5 for 5. That's the goal. I believe it. I know I can do it. I believe it in my heart and in my noggin that I'm going to go 5 for 5 on these picks. Go ahead and put your parlays down now, boys. Listen to Showtime. Get yourself some free money. There you go. Those are my picks for this Saturday, UFC 326, Holloway Oliveira 2. This is pretty fun to make. I'm still learning how this stuff works YouTube-wise. With the face cam stuff and pulling all the fights up at the same time. That's kind of new. I'm figuring it out. Obviously got the new mic and the new camera. I'm excited to do stuff like this. It's really fun. I love showing my personality and talking about MMA and the UFC. I love doing it. Been doing it on TikTok and Instagram. I was like, might as well do it on YouTube at the next level. So that's what we're doing. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Comment if you enjoyed it. Anything that I need to update, change, make it better. Tell me if you believe that I'm correct or incorrect on my picks. Go ahead and you guys can just tell me that I'm correct. You don't got to lie and say I'm wrong. You all agree. Anyway, I appreciate it. Like the video, subscribe, share it, whatever it is. I feel like that's at the classic YouTuber lines. Make sure you like and subscribe. Smash that like and subscribe button. That's what I feel like right now. Low-key kind of dope. Not going to lie. Every kid's dream. But yeah, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I will see you guys probably on the recap.